dirt in that one.
Big dirt, don't hurt.
Big dirt. Hey everyone, I'm Sav and this is Lagom Eats. Today we're going to be making pan-seared steak with mushroom sauce. We're going to be taking it up a notch though and using an A5 Japanese Wagyu Ribeye, which then we'll be smothering in that creamy rosemary mushroom sauce. This is one of my favorite ways to eat steak. Let's take a look at the ingredients. We're going to be cooking up this A5 Japanese Wagyu Ribeye. For the sauce, we'll need half a cup of heavy cream, a quarter cup of white wine, 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard, a pinch of red pepper flakes, 6 ounces of mushrooms, 1 clove of garlic, 1 tablespoon of chopped rosemary, a quarter cup of finely grated parmesan, 1 shallot, and salt and pepper. Let's get cooking. All right, so first we're going to just cut up our ribeye. We're not gonna cook up this whole thing today. We're just gonna cut off a portion of it. So we'll cut off about this much. Let's cut off a little bit of this fat just so we can grease our pan with it. All right, let's finish chopping up our veggies for our sauce. We're first gonna take our mushrooms, and you don't want to get these guys wet because they're gonna soak up all that water. We want them to soak up the sauce instead. So take a paper towel and just wipe off any of the dirt. Doesn't have to be perfect. Little dirt isn't gonna hurt. So we're using baby bellas here. You can use any variety of mushrooms you like. I usually use shiitake in this actually, but my store didn't have a great selection today. So we're using baby bellas. So we're gonna cut off a little bit of the stem, but you don't have to remove the whole thing with baby bellas. But if you're gonna use a mushroom like shiitake, then you need to cut off that stem because it's really woody and you don't wanna eat that. So just slice off a little bit of the stem. And then we're gonna slice it up. We're gonna dice up our shallot now. All right, let's take our rosemary leaves off the stem. All right, we'll just chop these up a bit. Okay, so now we're going to grate up our Parmesan cheese. We're using a microplane so we can get it very finely shredded. And I highly, highly, highly recommend using a block of Parmesan and shredding it yourself. The shredded kind you buy in the bag doesn't melt properly. It has like this wax over it and it's just no good. Use a block of Parmesan. All right, let's grate this up. We need like a quarter cup. Oh, that's good. All right, so now we're going to sear our steak and then make our sauce in our pan. But as we all saw with the Kobe beef, it smokes a lot, so we don't want the fire alarm to go off again. Let's do it on the stove behind us. But we will season our meat right here. Put some salt, freshly ground black pepper. I'm gonna get all sides. Okay, our pan has been heating up on medium-high heat. We're going to grease our pan with this little bit of A5 fat that I cut off. This will just help the steak release. But you don't need actually any oil or butter or anything like that with this. This meat is super fatty. All right, let's put on our steak. We're just gonna cook this like 90 seconds per side. All right, we're gonna flip it over. Look at that beautiful sear on that side. Our steak is done, so while it's resting, we're gonna make our pan sauce. We'll turn on our stove to like medium heat and let it heat up. So we're using the same pan that we seared our steak in. It's got all like that meat fond on the bottom, so it's gonna be super flavorful in our sauce. Normally I would melt some butter into this to start our sauce, but because A5 is so fatty, there's a ton of fat in the bottom of the pan still. So we're gonna use that fat actually to saute our vegetables. All right, we're gonna put in our mushrooms and our shallot. Give it a little mix in there. Let's add our garlic. You can mince up your garlic with a knife, or I like to use my microplane. Scrape all that off. We're gonna let this saute for about 3 to 5 minutes until the mushrooms soften. We're gonna season them with a little bit of salt and pepper. Be conservative though, because we can always add more salt to our. Okay, mix that in. And these mushrooms are ready. So we're going to transfer them to a plate. We're gonna deglaze the pan with a 1/4 cup of our white wine. So let that simmer to cook off the alcohol and get up any of the stuck on bits on the pan. All right, we're going to add in 1/2 cup of our heavy cream and a teaspoon of Dijon mustard. All right, we'll mix it up. Let's add in our rosemary and a pinch of red pepper flakes. Give that a stir. And we're gonna let this simmer for a few minutes for it to reduce. Okay, so it's been about 4 to 5 minutes and our sauce has thickened. You can see it leaves that trail when we drag a spoon through it. So we're gonna turn off the heat. We're gonna add in a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Stir it in there. We'll add in our mushrooms. Doesn't that look amazing? Oh my gosh. We're gonna taste our sauce and then add any salt and pepper that we need. Oh my gosh, it's good. We'll add in a little bit of salt, but we actually don't need a ton. A little bit of pepper. Stir it in there. One more time. That's perfect. Let's slice into our steak. Let's plate it. This looks so good. Oh my gosh, it's gonna be amazing with that mushroom sauce. Let's pour our mushroom sauce on it. And here we go. This mushroom sauce is so fantastic. Let's get it all on there. Let's taste it. Steak just cuts like butter. Let's get some of this mushroom sauce. Oh my gosh. Crispy on the outside, but just melts in your mouth. And then you've got that incredible creamy rosemary mushroom sauce. It's kind of meaty from the mushrooms, but the sauce is amazing on this A5 Wagyu, but it would be just as incredible on any other cut of steak that you have, or even on some potatoes, asparagus, honestly, anything. This sauce is so darn good. I hope you guys enjoyed my pan-seared steak with mushroom sauce. The full recipe can be found on my food blog at lagameats.com. I've got new delicious dishes coming out every week, so hit a like and subscribe below. I'll see you guys next time. Hey-do.